Top of the news tonight, a Caribbean Airlines plane crashed in Guyana this morning, resulting in the plane breaking in two. Over 150 people were on board, but miraculously there were no fatalities and injuries were also kept to a minimum. We have more in this special report from Capital News.
As a Capital News special report, I'm Gordon Mosley reporting from the Cheddi-Jagan International Airport, and not very good news to report to you this morning. As you can see, the front portion of a Caribbean Airlines Boeing 737-800 aircraft broke off as the aircraft overshot the runway upon touchdown early this morning. The flight, which came from New York with connecting passengers from Toronto and the Caribbean, arrived in heavy fog and rain at the Cheddi-Jagan Airport just around 1:30 a.m. As the pilot landed the aircraft, there were several bumps during what many described as a hard landing. The aircraft made its way through the airport's fence, coming to a halt in a grassy area along the roadside, the back of Tamari. Passengers scampered out of the aircraft and said the cabin was filled with smoke. First-class passengers had it bad. They could not get any access out of the aircraft, but eventually made their way out. The flight had just over 140 persons on board, including the crew. Several passengers were injured and rushed to the hospital. The emergency response authorities operated without lights for close to 2 hours. There was also the lack of proper rescue equipment. This caused into question the efficiency of the emergency response system. But President Barra Jagdeo and a number of his cabinet members were quick to rush to the airport. President Jagdeo said he is thankful that there were no deaths.
The first thing, I'm really thankful that there was no fatality, because given what I saw, the position of the aircraft, it was serious. You know, the plane practically broke in two. So that we should be very grateful for that. We don't know what happened as yet. The investigators are on the scene. The Army and the police have secured the aircraft and making sure that full proper investigation is done. Our key concern was making sure that people had proper medical attention, so that several doctors come in looking at people.
A report there from Capital News out of Guyana. Well, there was initial focus on making sure everyone was safe, and passengers recalled the terrified screams of others as there was a mad scramble to get out of the plane. Passengers say that at the time there was no direction as to what to do, so passengers fended for themselves.
When the plane comes, right, the guy dropped sharp. He's not where he's supposed to land, he didn't land. And the plane that, when he dropped, he stopped, then he take off, and when he knew that he can't make it on the runway, that he's going to run out, he just hitting the brakes all the time.
I really can't explain to you what happened. I think the pilot did the run shot at the runway or something happened. That's all. No comment right now about it. I really don't know. It happened suddenly. Everybody was hysterical, you know. Everybody was screaming. I really don't. I can't explain. Can't give an explanation right now what happened because it was too much. Yeah, we were sitting down all the way down in the back, and I got pain in my back right now, and it's the thing is this: when everybody got hurt, a lot of people got hurt on the plane, and nobody come over there to help nobody. You know, no ambulance or nothing come over to help anybody. There was, you know.
It took a while for medical people to arrive?
Yes, it took a long time, yeah.
Over 2 hours?
Over 2 hours we walk, go all the way down, then walk back, come back, then go back, you know. And then a bus pick us up, drop us here, you know.
First jog we had, we didn't do nothing, but the second jog, we screen, and then she have injured, and she foot bust away. Then we had the girl, the hostess, the girl, she opened the back door and we jump out.
There were also complaints that there was a long delay before any assistance was given by airport staff. Some report that relatives waiting at the airport were only made aware of the situation after they placed a call to them from the crash site. Others say medical help came long after the plane had crashed. Guyana's Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi is dismissing reports that there was a less than adequate response to the event. Speaking to CNC3 today via phone, Mr. Rohi insisted that the Guyana authorities handled the situation well.
From the moment the accident took place, the Guyana Fire Service, the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defense Force spotted the action. There is generally speaking the SOP, a standard operating procedure, for battles like this, when the eventuality that such situations arise. And that SOP was triggered and immediately the relevant services associated with the Joint Services of Guyana sprung into action.
Well, here at home, Caribbean Airlines hosted a press conference this morning at which the airline's Chief Financial Officer, Andrew Mills, gave the assurance that investigations into the incident have begun.
The Guyana Civil Aviation Authority has closed the Chedijagan International Airport while an investigation is being conducted. Perimeter around the aircraft has been secured and is being guarded by the Guyana Defense Force and police officials.
Caribbean Airlines has also stated that investigators from the United States Transportation and Safety Board will arrive in Guyana on Monday to retrieve the black box data recorder and assist with the investigation. Well, hours after the Caribbean Airlines plane crash, Transport Minister David Maharaj hosted a news conference as well at the Piarco International Airport, where he voiced government's concern over the incident.
I express my deepest concern for the affected passengers and crew of flight BW523. Our first priority is to the passengers and families of those affected by the incident.
He also stated that the government would lend all the assistance to Guyanese officials to ensure that the matter is effectively dealt with.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is prepared to work with Guyana heads of state. Currently, our Housing Minister, Dr. Rudal Munilal, and Trade and Industry Minister, Mr. Stephen Cadiz, are in Guyana on government business and will be on site as needed. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Surajratan Rambachan, has been contacted and will support any diplomatic relations between Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana to resolve this situation.
Trade and Industry Minister Stephen Cadiz was in Guyana on official government business and took time out to visit the injured passengers at hospital. He confirmed to the CNC3 via phone today that the injuries were not life-threatening.
Worst injury was a gentleman with a broken leg. I mean, we are on the way to the airport now, but based on the couple pictures that we saw of the crash, I mean, for people to walk out of that alive is, the Lord was with everybody, obviously. We spoke to, there were 5 people left at the hospital, and out of the 5, one gentleman with his broken leg, he would be the only one that would be staying at the hospital. The other 4 people would be discharged, if not this afternoon, by tomorrow.
Well, Prime Minister Kamala Prasad-Bissessar has left for Guyana with a ministerial team to have a first-hand view of the flight incident relating to Caribbean Airlines flight BW523 en route to Guyana. The Prime Minister is accompanied by Minister of Foreign Affairs and Communications, Dr. Surajratan Rambachan, Minister of Transport, David Maharaj, the local government Minister Chandresh Sharma, and Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Roger Samuel. Is also accompanying the team will be National Security Advisor Gary Griffith. The Prime Minister is expected to visit the incident site, followed by a visit with the passengers and crew. The Prime Minister is expected to return to Trinidad and Tobago tomorrow. Minister of Labour Errol McLeod has been appointed to act in the Prime Minister's absence. In a brief interview prior to her departure, the Prime Minister expressed concern over the incident, but was thankful that no lives were lost.
Let me express the government's concern and sadness by what has happened to flight BW523. I feel, in a way, gratified to say, thankfully, all passengers and crew are alive. Minor injuries, but no casualties. There's no doubt that the passengers and crew were traumatized, and we want to empathize with them and their family members. But I do want to say this is in the nature of a miracle, that everyone is alive and safe.
The Prime Minister also stated that the investigation will be a thorough one with assistance from the U.S.
Of course, there will be an investigation. I'm advised that the FAA and officials from Boeing, as well as the civil authority, have already begun their investigations. Today I spoke with the U.S. ambassador, and she has committed to assist us through the National Transport and Safety Board of the U.S. And they too, Minister, you spoke with her as well?
I spoke to the ambassador as well as an official from the American Embassy. And tomorrow a flight will be coming in from Washington with officials from the FAA, the National Training and Safety Board, Transport Board. And they will accompany our Chairman of Civil Aviation Authority. Already in Guyana, we have the Director of Civil Aviation working on the issue.
This is your Saturday evening newscast here on CNC3. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
In the playfulness of Caribbean eyes, through the genuine happiness of our smiles, it's there in the unique way we express ourselves, in the color of our cultures, in the rich flavor of our cuisine, and in the pulse of our people. It's in the music and rhythm that celebrate our spice of life. This is who we are, the common bond we share from shore to shore, living, loving life each day as never before. So, however far you may roam, this is home. This is Caribbean Airlines, the warmth of the island.